Hey, good morning, everybody. Just wanted to say thank you again for all the support and all the engaging that we're having. I'm enjoying all the conversations we're having. Well, some of them, even though the tough ones, they're a little hard sometimes, but I'm still enjoying it. It's a challenge and a challenge accepted. Boy, it's brisk here in central New York in the mountains this morning. Boy, 41 degrees. Woke up this morning, it was 36. Cold temperatures are already setting in. But do you smell that? Every day I wake up and I'm feeling more and more liberated and free from all the bullshit. Smells really good. Feeling really good. Everything's going very well. I'm excited to wake up every morning and see all the new comments that I get on all my videos. I wake up every day and I look forward to having conversations with everybody. The whole purple revolution it's actually exploding more than people know. I'm seeing it everywhere. And for all the people that were asking if Republicans are joining their movement, I've come across about 12 of them already this morning. The videos of Republicans waking up and liberals also waking up and coming to fruition that it's time to wake up. People have to understand it's very hard to come out of what we've been put through. Like I said, it ain't been just for the last couple years. A lot of people say it's just because since Trump's been running for president. Folks, this has been going on for way longer than this. Our parents were screwed by the rich and elite, and their parents were screwed by the rich and elite. It's been an ongoing thing for decades and generations. At some point, one of the generations has to stand up and say something and do something. Because at this point, we have to start looking out for our children and our grandchildren. Because their futures at this point are looking very bleak. For us, it might be a little too late to fix things for our life. But when we became parents, we put our own lives aside. And it's supposed to become all about our kids and our grandkids. And right now, we're not doing a very good job. We have to ask ourselves, when the day comes for us to meet our Father, are we going to be proud for what we did to stand up for our kids and grandchildren's futures? Because I don't know about you guys, but I don't want to I don't want to have to die, and while I'm facing my death, think back at the times and wonder if I could have done more for our youth. To me, it's a pivotal thing in my life to set our kids up to have a better life than we had, and them to set up a better life for their kids than they had. It's been going the opposite way for generations now. Each generation that comes up, everything gets worse and worse. People have become scared to stand up. And people actually sat here and thought about it. People came together for the Boston Tea Party over a 3% tax hike on tea. Now, people came together for that. They put party differences aside. They put all differences aside to fight for the better good. And that was for tea. And now here we are, and we have a tyrannical government that's filled on both sides with greedy, terrible people that are owned by influencers and owned by the Israeli government. The politicians today are way too influenced by the rich. One of the first things that we have to do is get the rich, greedy paws out of our politics. And one of the biggest things to me is you shouldn't have to be rich to run for office. Why can't one of us little guys run for office? Why do you have to have millions and millions and millions and millions and millions of dollars to be able to run for office in our country? There's a reason for that. Because they only want the rich and elite in power. Because if any of us little guys join in, we're going to bring the whole establishment to the ground. So one of my biggest points for us to be able to do to take our country back is to let it be known that we want restrictions on how much money you could be making in order to hold office. Because the more money that they're making while trying to run for office is the more chances that they're going to be able to connect with the rich and let them influence them. Us little guys already know what it's like to struggle. We know what it's like to live day by day, week by week. None of us really care about having all that kinds of money in our pockets. The good thing about us little guys is that we actually care. We care about each other, whether you guys right now think so or not. We care about each other. There was a time that we cared about each other. Has it gotten worse? Yes. But ask yourself this. How come people can go to sporting events? They can go to big concerts and big gatherings, and nobody ever asks what their party affiliation is. Nobody ever asks what their point of views are on life. Nobody asks somebody if they're gay. Nobody asks somebody if they're trans. Nobody asks somebody what their life is like. Nobody cares then when we're all having fun. Okay, but we get on these sites and all of a sudden everybody wants to start talking. You want to start pointing out all the problems in other people. But why didn't you do that face to face? Okay. The government has everybody so brainwashed to do the same exact thing that they do. Because it's the same thing a politician does. They don't run their mouth face to face. They don't run their mouth to our faces and say all this hateful shit and put all this hateful stuff that they put up on the cameras to our faces. Why not? Because they ain't got no balls. Everything that they do is a show. It's a show, people. So again, how come we can go to all these sporting events? We can go to concerts. We can go to get-togethers and gatherings. And nobody's fighting over religion. Nobody's fighting over political party. Nobody's fighting over this interest or that interest or this way of life or that way of life. When we're all gathered together. So why do we fight on these social media sites? I just don't understand it. I ran into a video last night from a diehard MAGA. I'm not someone who's going to put their handles out. I'm not trying to get people to attack them or be violent or anything like that towards them. He's got a lot of followers from the MAGA side. And I put one comment that I'm a Republican and let's have an honest talk. So Republicans, pay attention because this is key. All I did was say, I'm a Republican, let's have an honest conversation. And this guy just started spewing all kinds of hate. I'm not a Republican just because I told him I'm a Republican. He refused to let anybody talk. Anytime somebody tried to talk to him, he jumped in over top of them and just started screaming. And I noticed that that's what I was like. That's what I was like. And it made me sick to my stomach that that's what I used to be like. Sick to my stomach. Now I want you MAGAs and you Republicans to start looking around at some of these videos the way your people are acting. That might be why there's so much hate from the other side, because of the way you guys talk to people. You got to understand, it's not your message that people are mad about. It's how you treat people. You can't even have a conversation with the diehard Republicans. They refuse to. They don't listen to anything that you say. And this is what is pushing so many Republicans to be independent and unify with the other side, because it's showing us what vile and disgusting things that the Republicans do. Now, don't get it twisted. The left has done the same thing. Okay? But the left is way more willing to talk to people and come together in unity for the better of the good of the country. Republicans, I'm sorry that you're going to get mad at what I'm saying, but you're the main point of the problems, and that's why I left and became independent. Y'all need to open up your hearts and your minds and start talking to people before it's too late.